I call this meeting to order. This is Barren County Fiscal Court, February 15th, 2022. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Jeff Bott.
Here.
Trent Riddle.
Here.
Carl Dickerson.
Here.
Tim Coomer.
Here.
Mark Bowman.
Here.
Kenneth Sargent. Billy Houchin.
Here.
Michael Hale.
Here, thank you very much. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the orders of the day. So moved. Second, Riddle, second, Master Bowman. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Invocation today will be given by Master Mark Bowman.
All right. Let's pray, please. Our Father and our Creator, as we bow before you at this time, we're reminded of your awesome power and the beauty of your creation, and just so thankful for everything that you bless us with each and every day of life that you grant us. And Father, we ask that you be with us today as we conduct business of the county, that we do it in a manner that's well-pleasing unto you, that you help us make good decisions for the people of Barren County, that we will always strive to be good stewards of what you blessed us with, and to be good servants for the county. Father, we also realize there are many that are hurting in our county, still suffering from COVID, and just pray that you be with those families and wrap your loving arms around them. Please be with us as we continue this meeting, that all things will be well with you. So thankful for your Son and our Savior. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Stand for the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone today. I want to start it off by having a moment of silence for the loss of Brad Bailey. Thank you. As everyone knows, Brad served as our county PBA, and we just let him know his family that he is there in thoughts and prayers. Thank you all. I'd like to welcome everyone today, elected officials. Trevor Bennett, thank you for being here. We have our Parks Director, Maxie Murray, our Transportation Director, Susan Gibson, our Solid Waste, Jamie Cummins, Hartwell, County Clerk. As always, the High Sheriff. Morning, Sheriff. Thank you, Court. County Attorney, thank you for being here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 18th, January 28th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Bowman, second by Mr. Houchins. Any corrections, abstractions, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Announcements. Does anyone in their prospective districts have an announcement?
Judge, I'd just like to say I'm glad to see your Mayor Hatcher back on today. I know he's had some issues. Good to see you, Mayor.
Good morning, Mayor. Anything else from prospective districts? Okay, we'll move into reports. I want to ratify the Ambulance Service Corporation. The board actually took action to stagger the terms. Our previous meeting, we actually put these two folks back on 1 year, and we actually need to change that to a 2-year, 3-year. So I want to ratify Jackie Brown to a 2-year and Faye Neal to a 3-year. That's beginning February 1, 2022, running to 2024 and 2025. I will need action to ratify that.
Is that your motion?
No, I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I second it. Motion been second by Mr. Fox, questions?
What were the terms for Judge?
The ambulance service.
I know, what were the terms?
2 years for Jackie Brown, February 1, 2022, February 1 of 2024, and then 3 years for Faye Neal, February 1, 2022 to 25.
So we're changing them from what?
From 1 year. We actually just made to put them on 1 year, and the ambulance service redone their board structure to stagger. That way everybody didn't come off at once. So. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll approve the claim of the South Cooper Industrial Park bond.
I'll make that motion.
Master Comer, second Master Houchins, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Approve additional material changes on the courthouse LED lighting project.
Motion.
Second.
Bots, second by Riddle, questions?
Was that just adding more lights? Is that what it was, Judge?
Yeah, what that was, and this is the way it's explained to us, the original quote that they give us, those items went up by the time they actually got those items. So I think that difference was $483 over the original estimate. So, understand. Good question. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? County clerk, Burwell and Misty, you guys want to come up? We need to talk about the quarterly reporting ending December 31st, 2021, subject to audit. I need a motion on that first.
Motion. Second.
Fox, second by Bowman, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 2021 budget. It's all yours.
Morning, everybody.
Morning,
Thank you, guys.
morning.
We always love coming and bringing good news, which is where 2021 brought in more money than we've ever brought in before. So during these times, we didn't know what to expect. So we always try to shoot conservatively. You have two things in front of you. I think I was throwing stuff at Sherry, kind of like Lucy and them on the chocolate line, trying to keep up. We have the fourth quarter report that we turned over to the Department for Local Government. That was due to them by the end of January. And that's where you're going to see that the third quarter, yeah. Do they? Hold that up there. Do you guys have a copy of this right here? With your actual items and itemized?
Just takes.
What is this thing? Hold it in your hand.
Yeah, these are some itemized
Thank
for
you.
what we're gonna go over for the year. But for the quarterly, you see a little over 3 million for the fourth quarter. That was as of the January report. You're also gonna have the yearly, it's gonna say quarterly, but it has all 4 quarters on there. We made some adjustments with our SMI, our software company. We had an insufficient funds check for $458 that was for some reason misallocated. You left software issues. It's kind of like when you go to Vegas and you're like, I gotta get there, and 4 hours later, you're still walking and you're not there yet. So that sometimes kind of happens with,
We forgot
Well,
to
that's
add that
some,
she's not only an awesome bookkeeper, she's a fabulous comedian.
we know
And y'all laugh, it's okay.
we know where we need to get. Sometimes it takes a few extra steps to get there, but SMI is good at working with us. They know the accounting part and the technical part. So as far as the fourth quarter of our calendar year, it's always the slowest. You have the holiday months. People are paying for what they have to pay for. They've got taxes due, they've got Christmas presents to buy, and for the most part, they're just paying for what they have to pay for. This is kind of the trend. This was a trend for 2020 as well, except for the third quarter was really big. We had a huge tax sale that year. So I'll bring Helena back up here too. These are just some of the trends that we saw from 20 to 21 with some of our big income categories. With usage tax, you're going to see we had an almost 17% increase. That's very apparent that people are still buying, whether they have the money or not. They're purchasing cars. What inventory is out there, so the higher and the prices have gone up. So with increased price, we have higher usage tax, which is the tax they pay on the purchase price.
Was there, yeah, so what, was there something on that
We're gonna
As
get
far
to
as,
that.
as far as the value.
Yeah, that's property tax, so we're gonna get to that in just a
Okay.
moment. Perfect, thank you. Looking at ad val, which is that right there, we're up 16%. That was from 20 to 21. 22, you've heard about the increase of up to 40% of the valuation of the vehicle, not the percentage of tax. So I'll let Helena speak to the legislation on that.
Okay, well, so the Department of Revenue issued out a statement basically stating that in 2022, that most vehicles could see up to a 40% increase on your property tax. So, as should have been done, the residents of the Commonwealth said this is not gonna happen. How can we do this? 40% increase. They increased the price of our vehicles or the value of our vehicles in 21, but a lot of people didn't notice that, but it did increase in 21. So a lot of folks went to legislators who happened to be in session, so it's a great time. And they created House Bill 6, which will drop the values of vehicles back down to what they were in 21. So doing away with that 40% increase. And then they set some limitations on what can be done in the future moving forward. So we call it NADA, it's JD Powers. They go by that JD Powers price. And of course, they're saying that the values of vehicles have gone up due to like production and increased costs of new vehicles. People are buying used vehicles and paying new prices for them. So right now, House Bill 6, it went, came flying out of the committee. It's passed the House. We're waiting on the Senate to vote for it. It is basically, it has an emergency clause in there. So for folks that have already renewed their vehicle tags since January 1, it will be retroactive back. And those individuals, if the Senate passes it, House Bill 6, if it gets passed, then you'll get a portion of that state tax that you pay, okay? So we don't know if the taxing districts will be included in this. There's a lot of stuff we don't know yet. We're just waiting. It'll kind of be like how they touch the election. We just kind of wait and see what will happen next. So we're just gonna wait and see what happens once the final approval of this bill is. But we'll make sure everybody in Barren County knows about it, and we'll let you know how you're gonna get some money back if you've already paid. Some folks are waiting to pay. We've seen that recently. We feel like we're a little slower than we would be right now. And I think folks are just waiting to see what's gonna happen. But don't be worried. If you pay, you're gonna get your money back if they do change that value down. Okay.
So we have any idea what that number would be?
I think from what I'm reading, it's looking like they're gonna go back to what 21's values were. So if you take your registration out of your glove box, where it's supposed to be, right, Sheriff? Okay. So take your registration out and you look down, it's gonna tell you what you paid in tax last year. So you should be paying somewhere real similar to that amount, okay?
And that is for 22. We were gonna go back and reevaluate our budget, and then when all this came to pass, we're like, yeah, we're not counting on that money right now because we may be giving it back and not getting it in the future. So again, with 21, licenses and transfers, again, more cars on the road, increase in money coming in. As far as our real estate department, that department has really kept us up, especially when car production slowed and when people were not paying their, one thing, back to the ad valorem property tax. 2021 saw a collection of a lot of 2020 fees that were waived because of the pandemic. They were given kind of a way out, and then they came in 2021 and had all this to pay. So that brought in a lot of revenue
The
as well.
governor did extension in 21
October.
until October. So folks would come in and pay their tags or renew a vehicle and not renew another one. And we didn't know there was delinquency because it wouldn't pop up because that was all waived in the system. But as it started back in October, all that started showing up. So we're catching up now with some of the renewals and taxes that folks didn't pay earlier on.
All right, so to wrap up, we've got the real estate, deed transfers, mortgages. I think some of those people that are leaving California may be coming to Kentucky. I know I've heard of a few of them myself. So, you know, they're buying houses, they're refinancing. We've got releases, we've got all that we do when a mortgage is done or refinanced. Marriage licenses are down. I would say that the people that got together in 2020, realized that during a pandemic, maybe they shouldn't get married. So 2021, those marriage licenses went down.
Thought we might coordinate with Target, if they have divorce rates.
Yeah, I'm sure they're getting hit. Maybe we should do a buy your marriage license prepaid for your divorce. So for revenues, we're up about 15%, excess fees, almost 7%. We changed our budget late last year. We upped that to about 1.4 million. And for 2021, we've turned over 1.6 million. So that's up from 1.5 in 2020. We passed our mark again. I know Helena's proud of these storage fees that have come in for the last 2 years. We now kind of have an apples to apples comparison of those storage fees that are straight clerk money. We passed our $100,000 mark for 2021. So that's really just, that money came in. The Lord knew we needed that money, 20 and 21 with the pandemic.
That was
and-
money we never had before, and it stays in Barren County. We don't have to give that to
So
anybody.
it hit at a wonderful time. And our 2022 budget, we're at about 1.5 million. So we feel like we're right on target right now for hopefully having another banner year for the clerk's office. So again, we're looking for approval on the 4th quarterly report and then our year-to-date, that final set. I just want to make sure you got everything.
We need a motion. I make the motion, we accept this report. Great
Second.
job. I second.
Make the motion, second, make approval. Any questions? Comments?
I want to say something about March really quickly. March is coming, and folks that have, we're a large ag producing county here in Barren, and just so you kind of get an idea, I know, it'll start hitting us because folks are already getting the renewal cards for March. You get them in February now, so you can come in and renew right now. But folks don't understand, when you come in March, why the line's so long. We expect to see over 10,000 renewals in the month of March. For the month of February, we're looking at less than 2,500. So that's a huge increase. So if you wonder why there's such a huge line in March, because we have over 10,000 vehicles that should be renewed. And I want to also kind of just do a little shout out for our ag tag.
Let's vote on this.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now that business, all in favor say aye.
Now, so
Yeah.
back to March and ag tag promotion time. I just want folks to know that it is very important. If you can give that $10 for FFA 4-H Kentucky Proud. Last year, we turned over more money than we have previously for this program. This money really comes back to these, the youth of our county, our FFA and our 4-Hers. They really need this money. I talked with both of the organizations in the last few days. I talked with our ag commissioner recently. We can't promote it enough. Last year, residents of Barren County donated $11,540. And that's the $10 donation. We could donate so much more. If everybody would give, we would be turning over $51,520. I know our FFA group is looking to buy a tractor, and our 4-H group, I don't know what their need is, but they've got something that their eyes are set on. So I think it goes to help with cost of camp and stuff for the youth. But these programs are wonderful programs. We don't want to forget them. And if you all can give, if you're renewing an ag tag, and you may have 5, Tim, you've got 5 trucks that you use on that farm, you just give one. You just do one. That will help. And I don't like that the state included it on the renewal fee, because that's confusing people. We want people just to give because they want to give to these organizations. But I just really want people to know that money does come back to these kids. Thank y'all.
Question. Like I've got my cards,
Yeah.
and I usually come in February to break the rush, but with this new assessments, is it better to wait or just go ahead and do it and this way get the refund?
I can't say. I wish I knew. I'm gonna, as soon as I see, and Brennan, I know Brennan is here today, he's tracking this bill also. As soon as we see the Senate pass it, it'll be very quickly, it'll move forward because it's got the emergency clause in there. But I don't know, but I will put it all over the Facebook as soon as we see that it's approved. But if you come on in, just know you'll get a refund, okay? And again, we don't know if that refund's gonna come from Frankfurt, or if they're gonna have the counties do it. We don't know yet what that's gonna look like, but just know, if you pay at these elevated, values, you're gonna get your money back, okay? Or a portion of that money. It won't be all of it, a portion of it back. Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Sheriff, talk about vehicle purchases.
Got some monthly activity, y'all passing down, I didn't see your timely manner, pass those on the court. Also, some side notes, I can't do as good a job as Helena did with all the overheads, but two side notes, we've collected 95% of the $29 million in taxes that the sheriff's office is responsible for. 89% of that was collected by December the 31st. So in the first 2 months of collection, a major percentage of that was already collected. So we've done a good job. The citizens have done a good job in a timely manner about paying those. And bottom line note on my budget, with a last recollection that I got from Jenny, reconciliation, that's what I was looking for January 29th. I was 53%. I had expended 53% of my budget, and the normal would be 58. So somewhere around 5.5%, somewhere around there to the good. If that, just to give you a snapshot of it. So we're running right on track where we ought to be for this time. What I've come before you today is vehicles. Last budget year, we allotted money for vehicles. In March, I think the court date is the 15th for the March fiscal court date. I'm going to have the vehicle fleet gentleman down from Bachman Chevrolet to talk to us a little bit, because next year, as of July 1, the procurement process is going to change a little bit on the manufacturer side. Whereas in the past, I would communicate with the dealership, and for instance, they would order 300 units for the year, a variety of colors, white, gray, black. And generally I try to get my name in on 2 of them. There's a variety of agencies across the state that puts in bids for those vehicles or orders. The state bid doesn't change once it's set. And by the way, this year it was 41.6 for the Chevrolet Police Package Tahoe. So after July, that's going to change again, obviously. But my point of it is, they're receiving these vehicles, and he's notified me that 60 of these vehicles are unallocated. So out of the 300 that they ordered from Chevrolet, 60 of those vehicles do not have agency names on them. And agencies that received, like Jessamine County ordered 17. Fayette County ordered, I think my numbers were 20 to 22. So my point of it is, I want to talk this morning about us thinking about going ahead and me tagging 2 of those with my name on them, because we have money in the budget for them. Because it could be that somebody comes down the pike, Enterprise or somebody like that, and walks in and says, hey, do you have any unallocated vehicles? Yeah, I got 12. I'll take them all. Now, that's merely a hypothetical. But even if I got them tomorrow, they would be 2 to 3 months before I could drive them, because we've got to put internal parts in, we've got to put radios in, and we've got screen dividers, lights, sirens, things like that. So again, I wanted to bring it to you and discuss this and see what we thought.
His line item shows 125,000 for vehicles.
So if you have the money in your budget and you need the vehicles, I just go ahead and make a motion that we allow you to go ahead and earmark those 2 of those vehicles.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Master Coomer, questions?
What, and I know we've talked about this 100 times in here, what percentage do we pay for those vehicles, the liquor money?
Honestly, I don't know the percentage of that, because obviously I talked to you guys about it and asked about it. I'm not
You're not the one to
the
decide.
signature line item guy on that.
So these vehicles are hard to get, and I'm just thinking, I'm not wanting to spend a lot of money, but they're so hard to get, it's just gonna, next budget year, you're gonna need two as well. Is that
That's my plan, Squire. If I can rotate 2 vehicles a year, then as they go through the progression of the lifespan of service, then I'll surplus. For instance, in March or April, we've got probably 5 to 6 used vehicles, high mileage, that we're going to surplus out and sell. And generally, you know, we take average somewhere between 1,000, 1,500 per vehicle. So we recoup a little bit. Any more questions for me?
All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry.
no worry. I was gonna say, we need to change it to 3. Because of the, you know,
You
all
can,
about vehicles, my goodness, it takes 6, 8 months to even talk to anybody anymore. So I didn't,
we
that was
can,
where I said it.
we can amend that motion.
That's fine. I amend my motion to 3 vehicles.
Okay, we have amendment to the motion to go with 3 vehicles. Any second?
Second.
We have a second, Manager Houchins. Questions on the amendment?
So that, the 3rd vehicle will come out of next year's budget?
It could.
I don't know how to answer this.
Do we have the money in the budget? Do you
We
have the
have
money
money in
budget?
the
Alcohol.
budget.
To cover that third, yeah.
Feel.
Any other questions to the amendment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, now the main motion on the floor. Any other questions of main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Anything else, Sheriff?
Not today, Jess.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, good. Sheriff, I just, on this SRO complaints, 75, is this students complaints or teachers, or how does that work?
We don't break it down that way. It's anything that the school resource officer, SRO, responds to and is notified by either school officials or someone outside that may pertain to a school facility, the campus, grounds. It could be threats, it could be a theft, it could be an accident in the parking lot. It could be identity theft at school. It's a whole list of possible complaints.
Okay, but this is just from, not students, actually. It's actually from teachers or administration to
Well,
resource officers.
we define it differently. It's everything that school resource officer responds to. Because he's assigned a school building, except for the elementary. Now, that's a different deviation. For instance, high school and middle school has a designated SRO for that building. And they handle problems on campus, whether it be thefts, threats, intimidation, problems outside the building that come to the campus, after school argument, something of that nature.
Thank you. Sheriff, do you know if the Department of Energy in the state of Kentucky has any funding available or incentive money to purchase electric vehicles?
I don't, Squire. I haven't heard that discussed yet. The sheriff's conference was in this past September, and I didn't hear anything discussed about electric vehicles.
I have it in the state of Kentucky, but I know there are some other states. Would you care to check on that?
I don't mind to.
I don't know who we would start to check with, but
I'll start with the sheriff's association because obviously they have a link with all counties in the state and what those counties are using for vehicles.
do we don't have a charter here on the square. do
I'm not aware of it.
we? No. It's something that we gotta be looking at countywide. When you got in all our vehicles, you got several manufacturers that are saying they're gonna be combustionable free by 2030. Which is be here before you know it. So there's some programs. You're all in favor of trying to give it a shot for at least paper servers. I don't know how that's gonna work. Vehicles that where you need a lot of speed. I don't know how. Someone can check.
By your example, the paper servers would be a good team. Of course, there's 2 men there in that section. They're pretty constant in their hours that they come on and off. And obviously they're not involved in high speed stuff. So that would be a good start spot. It's those 2 gentlemen there.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Any more questions for me, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Master Riddle, those conversations about charging stations have started along the 65 corridor. So we have already had conversations about that. So you're exactly right. We need to be moving that direction. Okay, quarterly reports from the departments, emergency management.
Hello, can y'all hear me in there? Am I unmuted?
Yes, we got you.
Okay. Quarterly report for the second quarter of the 21-22 year. Halfway through the year, which would have been December 31st, we're at 42.2% of the budget. So we're staying well within our budget, which is always good to do. During this year, we had one declaration, the DR 4630 KY. It's the tornado went through Park City, Cave City, State Quarry Road, Herbert Turner Road, on up from one county line to the other up in that corner of the county. We had that tornado and one declaration involved in it. Still working with that declaration. Just got off phone just a few minutes ago with the Red Cross. They're still in the process of trying to help people out and hopefully be able to help them out a little more. People who victims of that tornado and had severe damage. Not actually in this quarter, but we definitely want to give it a mention. January 1, 2022, the tornado that went all the way from Carden Road to Heistville. Had a lot of agriculture, some houses and businesses, etc. Our cemetery was affected up there in Heistville and stuff. That one we will not get a declaration on. There was just not enough damage per population in order to get a declaration on that. One thing we did have in the December tornado, not actually by the tornado because it's in Heistville, the tornado didn't go there, but severe weather. We lost the weather siren in Heistville. We're in the process of getting it refurbished, or getting it replaced rather. Going to work with getting it through insurance and stuff to replace it. We've been testing the sirens, all but two are working at this time. The Heistville siren, which came down in the December the 11th storm. We're working on replacing it. Like I said, the Green Valley siren, it will rotate, but no sound comes out of it. Doesn't do much good that way. We do have parts on order to repair it. And like everything else, everything that you get on order, it's just a guessing game when stuff will actually arrive. On missions we had one missing person on December 31st, 2021. Had an autistic gentleman, Barren River State Park. He went up missing. We responded to it to assist the state park and the KSP and found him rather rapidly. It was us, the fire department, ambulance service, the routine as we have anybody missing, we all respond. We got there and like I say, he was found rather quickly. Other than that, that's pretty much what happened in the last quarter for emergency management. Do we have any questions?
We accept this report.
Motion. Second. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, solid waste.
Good morning.
Morning.
Sure, you know, the landfill was supposed to give me some tonnage, so that's what I was looking for. So, within the last quarter, I've been 22% of my budget has been spent. Tiny department that does big things, but unfortunately, I don't spend a lot of money. I have a lot of grants. With that grant money, I purchased a 6x12 single axle trailer with 4-foot mesh sides and a spring-loaded back gate. It was for the jail crews that go out and pick up trash. They needed another trailer. The crews have been doing amazing. I've got the numbers from last year of the trash they picked up. Still working on that. I would turn it in March 1st. But it's amazing how most days it's over 100 bags a day. State road, county road, they've done great this year. During this quarter, I placed 2 dumpsters, that pilot program that we offered, on 2 projects. One was completed with the landowner paying back the tonnage bill. That part alone was 9 tons of garbage that came off of his property. The second is incomplete at this time. They still have one of the dumpsters out and they're currently working on that. Let's see here. Currently, I'm working on 5 complaints. Our complaints are driven by written complaints, so they have to fill out the form. And right now I have 5 that are in the process. They're still moving forward. I allow them time. If they decide they're not gonna finish cleaning up, that's when the fees start. During the last quarter, myself or Tracy or the road department has taken in over 16 tons off of the road. So that's couches, mattresses. It could be, they label it as construction stuff. So we have a lot of dumping going on our back roads. In October, the Barren County YMCA completed 3 miles for the Trash for Cash program, and they earned $300 for those 3 miles. They picked up over 100 bags of trash in those 3 miles. And lastly, we are going to do the cleanup week for 2022. It will be March 28th through April 1st. And I will be contacting the properties that we normally have those sites on, just to confirm that we can still have them there. And I will have a post on Facebook. Y'all will be notified of definite sites that will be used.
Questions? Set.
I move we accept this.
Mr. Bowman,
Second.
Mr. House, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? County clerk? Do you have anything? Anything else? Okay. Judge executive. And then part of the county treasurer. Currently, my budget is 55.82%. Majority of the budget is computer software, software maintenance, bonds and securities, renewals, repairs, telephones, and office equipment. 3 salaries, 1 is not funded, which is the deputy judge executive. So the finance officer is part of hers comes out of this, and the rest of it comes out of the other budget. So that's where that one's at. Any questions? Motion to accept.
So move.
Seconds. By Bowman. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Committee reports, Building and Property Committee, Chairman Coomer.
Building and Property Committee met this morning, had a couple items. Number 1 is the health department repairs. We're having leakage in the bottom floor. We worked on this a couple years ago and thought we had it solved. We dug it out, tiled it, and rocked it, and drained it. But we're having the same problem. Seems like we have more significant rainfall anymore, some more big rains than we used to. But anyway, I'm going to get with Matt Hunt of the health department and see where we need to go with that, about getting that repaired. Second thing, courthouse, on our existing courthouse, we've done so much work, but we still have some leakage now. We had put a new roof on, what, 2 years ago or 3? And now we've done covered everything in vinyl and aluminum, got it looking good, and there's always something else. But now the roof on the porch is leaking, so we're gonna get some prices on replacing that. Have to meet with the Historical Society to make sure we do that, so it kind of fits in with everything else. Possibly going with it's shingles now, but we'll look into seeing what we need to do to repair that, to make it look nice and be very efficient. The third thing was we discussed with Jim Griffin some plans for the new child support office that would be built. We're adjacent to the county attorney's office where we demolished the old building. We have some more works to work out in that as far as the power coming in, where the pole will be set, some window issues, because everything has to be really strict about making sure it's proper code through the state. And So he's working on those, so we really didn't take any action on that. And that's all I have.
Questions?
I just had a couple, just to clarify, to make sure, as far as the health department repairs, they will be paying for that? Well, that's what we're saying. That's what we're gonna discuss. And then as far as the courthouse, we're gonna submit that to AOC to pick up that?
Yes. Yes. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to the jail committee. Chairman Sarton is out today, so led by Mr. Cooper. Mr. Riddle.
All right. I'll take it. We didn't talk anything about the contract for the instructor at this time. I'm gonna push that off until the state does their budget in July. So we scratched that from our committee meeting. The next thing we talked about though was to have a cell phone in the jail for inmate use. The judges with the 43rd district wanted that to help for assessment and whatnot for the residents at the jail. And even the times during court where maybe the attorney needs to speak to that client one last time before it. So the judges sent down an order and we just typed up a look at to approve.
You need a motion to approve that policy?
Yes, sir.
I'll make it.
Second.
We have a motion second. Did everyone get a copy of it? Everyone's read the,
Y'all get mine.
okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
All right, and the last thing that I got is just quarterly reports first and second. What I went over was the bookings and the releasing. I also did some of the programs and the inmate work hours and also the commissary. First quarter of bookings and releasing. First quarter, we had 945 bookings compared to last year. At the same quarter, we had 805. So now we're at about 10 to 11 bookings a day compared to last year. We had about 8 releases for the first quarter was 949, comparable to last year at the same time was 775. So on an average, we're booking in 10 to 11 a day and also release 10 to 11 a day compared to last year at this time, doing 8. The second quarter, we booked in 969 intakes and we released 923 of them, comparable to last year at this time. We booked in 659 and released 659. So that quarter average of booking somebody in about 11, but it's about 10 comparable to last year at that time 7. So there's a lot more work going on. The amount of people are coming back in, so it's getting busy again. Commissary, since we went to Kelwell and whatnot, this is just for the profits of first quarter. We had profit wise was 61,990 and 62 cents. Last year at this time, it was 50,475 and 92 cents. So we're up the first quarter, $11,514.70. Second quarter profit was 65,335 and 81 cents, comparable to last year, $45,093.35. So first two quarters were up $31,757.16. Commissary. And last but not least, the Class D programs and whatnot. Inmates that worked on the road crews in the kitchen. First quarter is 149, second quarter is 152. Inmate work hours, the first quarter was 18,272. Second quarter was 17,376. Bags of trash were picked up. First quarter, 3,055. Second quarter, 3,166. Tires, first quarter, 22. Second quarter, 84. Miles of road covered. First quarter was 243 and a half. Second quarter was 383 and a half. And then also the classes that we've done. MRT, first quarter was 99. Second was 119 inmates and residents. I went to those class. Parenting, first quarter 60, second was 85. Anger management 53, second quarter was 94. And portals class 51, 54. So the classes are going up. Get more people involved in the classes. Any questions for me?
On those roads, General Bennett, were those state or county roads or
All
mixed?
All the roads, all 619 miles?
Yeah.
Any other questions for me?
What percentage is your budget at? Do we?
Where are we at? I didn't bring that paperwork with me this morning. I know we're below the 58%.
48.82.
48.
Yes.
48.
48.
Yes, sir. We're about 10% below where we need to be.
Any questions?
So,
And on the receipt side, though, I think we're actually up. Yeah, on the receipt side, we're still above that, where we should be. So it's a good balance where we're at, that's for sure.
are there any expenditures you've been out that haven't been paid? As far
No.
as,
No, actually, right now, we've been paid for everything. We have been working with some of the medical things that get reimbursed on for COVID and whatnot. And, we've done that at one time, and so far we got back 21,000. And then we can give that to some different expenditures.
so with the commissary, you went with Calwell,
Yes, that's correct.
correct? Okay, and so evidently that was a good move to do that because when you look at the commissary, your dollars went up.
Yeah, whenever you're doing something like that, you never know until you try. We tried it, it was successful, so we'll continue to do it. And if one day it starts not to be successful, we'll readjust and shoot again.
I think one of the fixes is in the past, and I don't know how far back, but money was just thrown at that jail to cover. So what we've been working on is, and Jenny, you can expand on this, is just when a line item runs out, we just move money within that budget to cover instead of just throwing money at the detention center. Just taken away from another line item to make that. Just the example, drug testing.
Yes.
Yeah, drug testing, only 1,000 was budgeted, but like we're at 3,000 mark now,
Oh, yeah, we just definitely.
something like that. So that's kind of how that's been working. Now the auditor will probably tell us, hey, you can't do that. We don't know. We hope that's something we can do because that's working within that budget, within the budget as a whole. Because so anyway, that's kind of how that's been working.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good, we need to make a motion to accept that report.
Yes, sir.
I make,
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. ARPA committee?
Our committee met this morning and for anybody that don't know, this governing body, the fiscal court, has set aside $1 million of the ARPA funding for the existing healthcare workers that worked during the COVID period. Make a long story short, I guess. And the gist of our meeting this morning is how we distribute that. I think the more thought we put into it, more people become, I think it's going to become involved in it. Next month, at our next monthly meeting, I'm trying to have some professionals here from the healthcare sector that volunteer to work with us on distributing this money. It's not our money, it's passed here to us from the federal government. It's our responsibility to distribute it where it's passed through. Also, we had have $500,000 that we have that were set aside for education. And we're kicking around scholarships, endowments, sign-on bonuses, and that's what we're doing, just kicking it around. So that's where we're at on that.
Questions? Okay, roll right in parts and rec, Chairman.
Laying over there on the desk, we have a drawing that was designed by American engineers to do the drainage repair at Jackie Browning Park. Now, a couple of parts to this. One is the drainage repair, we have a grant to help us out with that. That grant is $27,275. It's a land and water grant. And we have added some additional work to that, which is a practice field, which is a small thing, and then some additional parking along the football field area because we're just running out of space. So I think that mostly everybody has had an opportunity to look at those drawings. I know there may or may not be just a few little minor errors in there, but what I'd like to do is make a motion that we go ahead and put this project out for bid as it is drawn by American Engineers, and that we give the judge and staff the commission authority to work with American Engineers and how to get this, the best way to get this project out to bid.
Can we have a motion? Second. Second, Master Potts, discussion, questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Squire Dickerson.
Yes.
Squire Coomer.
Yes.
Squire Bowman.
Yes.
Squire Houchin.
Yes.
Squire Potts.
Yes.
Judge Hill.
Yes, thank you very much. Is that it? All right, before we finish up old business, Ms. Susan, did you get those phone numbers? Okay, just a real quick reminder before we run into new business. The county has purchased phones for the transportation department for 3 areas. And if we could start using those phones and calling those numbers, that way you're not interfering with their personal phones. And then those obviously will be, anything is subject to open records, but I'd like for you to, if you don't have those numbers, see Susan and get those phone numbers from her. Okay, thank you very much. Old business, Quarry Road discontinuance. Open that up for a public hearing for comments. Okay, hearing no comments, Magistrate Dickerson had brought forth Frank Nichols and Jared Garrett. You guys met with Transportation Director and these two folks. They were the two viewers. I have their signatures here, the discontinuance. That is under KRS 178.070. So I believe, as County Attorney, we have followed everything that you have set forth to make that happen. So close the public hearing and entertain a motion to close that portion.
I'll make that motion.
Master Dickerson. Second. Master Coomer, discussion.
This is a short section, 100.
It was
Not even 100.
0.15.
Squire Riddle, the old
Yeah.
waste station, there's been a lot of activity back there, I think, Sheriff, just, it needs to be closed.
Are we gonna have to put a cul-de-sac in back there?
No, we already have one. Yeah.
Since we're closing on that side of the cul-de-sac.
Yes, 0.15 is what it,
Scotty's gonna gate that, isn't he?
that's correct. That's correct. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Squire Dickerson.
Yes.
Squire Coomer.
Yes.
Squire Bowman.
Yes.
Squire Houchin.
Yes.
Squire Potts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Judge Hill.
Yes, thank you very much. Approved quarterly financial statement ending December 31st, 2021, subject to audit.
So moved.
Second. Riddle, second, Master Houchin, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Ordinance 665 related to budget amendment 2. I will open that up for a public hearing for comment. Close this public hearing and adopt on second reading. Entertain a motion. Motion. Watts. Second. Mr. Houchin's questions. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed. Okay, moving into new business. Approve payment of claims as presented.
Motion.
Riddle. Second. Second, Master Botts, questions. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Approve transfer of funds.
Make that motion.
Mr. Coomer,
Second.
Mr. Houchins, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Approved budget adjustment. Motion. Watts.
Second.
Second, Master Riddle, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Approved monthly financial statements, January 2022, subject to audit.
Make that motion.
Mr. Houchins,
Second.
Master Bowman, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Approved official settlements, January 2022, subject to audit, the county attorney, county clerk, and the sheriff.
So moved.
Bowman,
Second.
Master Coomer, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, personnel actions. Entertain a motion. Is there any?
Just acknowledge.
Yeah, the treasurer forwarded those yesterday to your, y'all want to take a minute to look at them.
Go ahead and make that motion so we can have it discussed.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Have a second, motion was Coomer, second for Bowman.
The minimum start rate was just full-time employees, and what you've hired as a seasonal, is that correct? Under the Susan? Under the starting rate, is it?
Yes.
Still ain't no- Just wanted to make sure we were. Do you have a second on that motion?
We do.
It's an intern, a co-op student.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Tim? It's co-op student.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we were not breaking any Catholic rules.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Annual order setting maximum salaries. That's the county clerk, the sheriff, deputies, and assistants. Motion, Master Botts.
Second.
Master Houchins, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, our CDBG utility assistance grant. I am going to yield to the fiscal court clerk. She sits on this, the community relief board.
Okay, I believe we have discussed this in the past, and we do have a legally binding agreement with our recipient organization, which is Community Relief Fund, that will administer this utility assistance grant. And their board has approved the bonding agreement. In addition to that, there's paperwork that's required by the state that we approve, including a procurement code. And we need to authorize a separate bank account for the treasurer to open up for those funds. And then also the contract for professional services with the Brad agency, who will be administering those funds. You all have copies of those if there's any questions.
We're just a pass through, right?
We are passed through. The money will come through us, and then we will pass it directly through the recipient organization, who will in turn pay out the money to the utility providers.
We'll need a motion to approve 1 through 4.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Master Dickerson, Master Bowman. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, appointments. The Green River Water District would like to reappoint Leland Glass for a 4-year appointment. That's March 24th, 2022 to March 24th, 2026. Also, to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Brad Bailey, I'd like to appoint Bobby Benell. And that term will end on June 30th of 2024. And I will put both of those into a motion. And I need a second.
Second.
Second, Master Bowman, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, first reading of ordinance 666 relating to budget amendment 3. Need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Does it have to be 6?
Yeah. Really?
That's just the next number in line.
Could we not skip that one?
I can't vote on that, I'm sorry.
We have a motion. Can we get a second?
I can second. I'm agree.
All right, I'll second that motion. Yeah, any discussion? All, go ahead.
I was trying, is it listed in here?
It should be. Master Bowman.
Discussion, I think this is probably doomed, we'll probably pass it, but it's doomed to fail.
Just a budget, just. Okay.
Any other mysterious discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Passes. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, we're going to move into closed session. Everyone's welcome to stay. It may be a little lengthy closed session, but other than that, thank you all for coming. 61.810 deliberation of future sale or real property by public agents. Second. Master Bowman, we are officially in closed session.
We have to call these people, need somebody,
I'll check and see.
Taylor, you got to say, Robert.
We ready? Yep. Since you're up, go ahead and make it if you want to.
I would like to declare a motion.
We have a motion to go back into open session.
Second.
Second, Master Bowman. Any action from closed session?
Judge, I move that the fiscal court authorizes Judge Hale and Squire Bowman to negotiate the sale of 2 small county-owned tracts on Oil City Road.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a second, Master Riddle. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing another roll call vote, please.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Hutchins.
Yes.
Squire Bond.
Yes.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Squire Hickerson.
Yeah.
Judge Taylor.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion to adjourn.
Second.